At this time, I'd like to welcome today's presenter, Craig Powell. He's a product manager, reporting, analytics, and business intelligence, and he will be sharing our session with you today. Craig?
Thanks, Terry, and thanks everybody for taking a little time out of your day to join us. Today we're going to be talking about Insight. It's a business intelligence and data discovery tool. What I'm going to be highlighting through most of the day, through most of the session, is the importance of visibility and awareness in your business and what a tool like Insight does to increase that. Also control, your ability to monitor and manage your business from a high level, not down at every individual route, every individual stop, because there's just a lot of them. And how do you control the business and control your fleet, from that high level position. And also we're going to talk about the importance of time management and how a tool like a data discovery tool like Insight saves you gobs and gobs of time. So first and foremost, Insight is a data discovery tool. It allows you to explore through your business in easy fashion without relying upon someone like a business or data analyst to do all the number crunching for you. It allows you to self-serve and get to information yourself, and we're going to show how that's done in a little bit. Insight has a dashboarding feature, which a dashboard is something most people are familiar with. It's a great feature. It allows you to see lots of parts of your business on the screen at one time. And over time, you develop what are the key performance indicators for your business, and the idea is to focus just on those and not on everything under the sun. So Insight has a dashboarding capability. It also has a collaboration feature that allows you to communicate with other people in the business. Lots of times what ends up being pieces of information about an event or what happened on a day is just stuff that came in from the field. And collecting all that, having it part of your corporate knowledge is really important, and Insight acts as that data collector, allows you to gather that information and collect it in context to the numbers and the events trending your business. So Insight sits underneath the entire RoadNet application suite. As a result, it gives you metrics in many areas. With the launch of RoadNet Telematics last year, we now have safety features, critical events, speeding, things like that. We also have efficiency metrics, productivity metrics, cost per mile, quantity per hour, things like that. We have a lot of metrics around customer service, on-time percentage, quantity delivered, overshort and damage, and all of that rolls up to a robust cost management because the miles you drive, the time you spend, and all that really drives your transportation costs. So all of this bundles into a single analytic tool, and having all that underneath one roof is really valuable versus getting bits and pieces from all over the place. So with that, we're going to take a quick look over. We're going to jump over and get right into what Insight looks like. So as I mentioned, Insight is a data discovery tool, easy to use. It is web-based, runs in our cloud offering, RoadNet Anywhere. It means that you can get to it anywhere that you can get to the internet. You can be on the beach in Florida and be looking at your business, and that's now a reality these days, which is fantastic. A couple little navigational items. Over here on the left-hand side, I have some control buttons that allow me to save my KPI, go back home if I decide to start making changes. I also have my date control here that lets me run my KPI for any date, any time. The main area right here is where all the data shows up and where I can do my click and drilling and my data exploration. And then you'll also notice that I'll be clicking up here a lot. The arrows on the left and the right move between one KPI and the next KPI, the key performance indicator, and the next one. And the little button next to it is a control panel that I will occasionally go to kind of show you how things are set up. So Insight has all kinds of measures and pieces of data in it. I'm going to roll through a bunch of them, and to give you an idea, I can't cover them all. There's hundreds and hundreds of them, but I'll show you some of them. To navigate, if I'm, this KPI is showing me miles. You can see it's for the current year. This is a roll-up of my entire organization, all depots, all routes, anywhere in the country. And you can see that so far this year I've run about 104,000 miles. So to slice and dice that, or to figure out more about it, all I do is click anywhere in the big blue bar, and then I get some options. I can look at this data in any number of ways. One is by my organization. Okay, so an organization is how you structure your corporate hierarchy. You might have several depots in Florida, New York, and California. They may roll up to a region like the Southeast, the Northeast. They may in turn roll up to an East and West Coast of the United States. And if you're a multinational, you might have operations in Mexico, Canada, and the U.S., and all of that can roll up into a corporate hierarchy and insight that shows reporting all the way up to the top. So it's a single reporting tool that you can look at your entire organization. So in my case, region is like Southeast, Northeast, like that. Time means I want to slice the data by some sort of a time component. Maybe I want to look at it by week, by month, year over year. This is great for looking at trends over time. I can also break it down by worker or attributes of my worker, such as like worker type. Worker type might be I have drivers and I have salesmen. You could use worker type to describe things like I have experienced workers and junior workers. It's just a way of grouping and categorizing workers to give you greater analysis capability. I can also look at my information by route. And I can also do it by equipment or any attribute of the equipment. So equipment class would be things like vans, straight loaders, side bay loaders. Or if I actually click on the word equipment, then I'm going to see every piece of equipment, every asset in my company. So I can choose any one of these, and it'll start slicing and dicing the data. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at my regions, and you'll see that I service 3 primary regions, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, and the Southeast. I also have some transfer routes that I also section off. I keep them separate so that when I do my analysis, they're not included in my normal business. If I want to find out more about the Mid-Atlantic region, I can click on Mid-Atlantic. And I can determine that maybe I want to see what workers are inside the Atlantic and how many miles they've driven. And then if I pick on a worker, say Randy Smith, I want to know what routes that worker ran. It'll show me all the routes that that worker ran. Now, as I drill down, Insight helps me out because over here on the left side, I actually keep a little breadcrumb of where I'm going. And this is really helpful to let me know how far, where have I drilled, and how deep into my data have I gone. To get back to where I want to go, back up to a higher level, all I have to do is come over here to one of the breadcrumbs and click on the level I want to go back to. If I want to go back to worker, I just click on worker and it takes me back up. If I want to go to region, I can go up to region, or if I want to, I can go all the way up to the company. So in this way, you can actually click and drill and navigate through your data in the direction that you want to go at any time. Very easy, very simple to use. So miles is a great metric. Everybody wants to know how many miles they drive. But miles by itself really doesn't tell you a whole lot about your business, because if you actually are delivering more product, seeing more stops, you would probably be driving more miles. So a better metric to determine the efficiency of your organization might be some sort of an efficiency metric like miles per stop. In this case, you're taking into account that you could be seeing more stops, delivering more quantity, and going more miles, and it becomes an efficiency metric that for every stop you do, how many miles are you driving? So regardless of how many miles you're driving or how many stops you're delivering, this is something you want to keep under control and possibly lower. The same thing here, where if I want to, I can look at what region has the best or the worst miles per stop. Obviously, if I'm driving a lot of miles per stop, that's going to end up costing me more money. And so I can drill in there and look at what workers or what routes end up having the highest cost miles per stop. And then from there, I can drill in and look at some more. Cost is a great metric. We have total cost for your routes and your stops is in Insight as well. Again, it's a great metric to look at overall. What's my total cost? But again, you know, if you're doing more business, seeing more stops, delivering more product, your costs will go up. So a better metric might be an efficiency metric like cost per mile. Okay, or actual cost per stop. This is a great metric to let us know, you know, what stops are actually costing the most. And again, in this, you just want to be able to monitor it, understand which ones are costing more and less, and go after the ones that are costing you the most. You'll notice that for this KPI, the bar is red. And the reason for that is that Insight's trying to tell me something. It's telling me that I have a problem. Now, maybe my actual cost per stop of $63.50 is a pretty good average over the course of the year. That's pretty good. That's kind of my standard. But does that mean that every route, every location is like that? Are there ones that are higher? So what I've done is I've asked Insight here to find something for me. I've said, find any location. Sorry about that. I said, find any location where the cost is actually greater than $500 per stop. Now, I've got lots of locations across lots of depots. I mean, thousands of locations. I cannot figure this out myself. I can't run enough PDF reports and enough, old standard reports or Excel spreadsheets to quickly find over the last year, stops that are averaging me more than $500 per stop. And this is what a tool like Insight does for you. The fact is that 80% of the business that you have is probably okay. It's well within your standards. It's delivering product at a low cost. And what you need to do is not worry about the percentage of business that is running fine, but find that percentage of the business that is not, that you can improve, where you can squeeze dollars out of the operation and push it to the bottom line. And this is where Insight helps you out. Now, if I change this, for instance, let's say if we have any stops that are $600 per stop or more, if I actually apply that, you'll see that actually the bar turns blue again. And what that means is across my entire enterprise, no stop has an average cost of $600 or more. But if I go down lower to let's say $550 per stop, it turns red. So now I want to go find it. But Insight's going to help me do this. If I click and I say, well, what regions did this occur in? Insight's going to light up the region that has the locations that I need to look at. If I go into that location, I can go directly to the location list, and it's going to show me all the locations that exceeded that dollar amount. Now, this is a big graph. It's got a lot of locations, a lot of data. The idea is not to let that bother you, because Insight has a great feature to zoom in and look at the data. So if all I have to do is click and drag and zoom in, and when I let go here, it's going to zoom in and let me look at the data. So over on the left-hand side was my troubled accounts. There we go. I now easily see that Sterling Kitchen, Mayer, and Miller Flooring are all my accounts that are costing me more per stop, and now these are ones that I need to go after. Okay. I mentioned that Insight has a collaboration feature. You'll notice up here on the top, I actually have a collaboration. Somebody's sending me a note about this KPI, telling me that they want to investigate something. And if I open this up, what it'll do is show me the message that somebody is trying to reach for me. Tom's sending me a note saying we need to investigate these accounts. and now I can go off and investigate why they're high, why they're low, and respond back. Again, this type of collaboration increases your corporate knowledge, keeps it, retains it, connects it to the KPI, and actually gives you context of the information that you're looking at. Very powerful feature to work collaboratively as a team to solve problems rather than turning to, say, a data analyst to solve all of them. We have a lot of other metrics in Insight. We track, all the miles, distance, travel time, stop time, the costs related to that. This is a great KPI. I love this one. This is travel time per runtime hour. This is telling me that for every hour that I'm on the out of the office or out of the warehouse, I spend about 39 minutes of that on the road traveling, driving to and from stops. And again, I can slice that down by organization to see how each one is doing, look at individual routes to see how that works, and see which ones are high and which ones are low. I can also do the reverse of that and say, well then, how much of that hour am I spending doing servicing my accounts? And you'll see that on average, I spend about 13 minutes servicing that account. Same sort of thing. I can drill in to see what accounts that is with, or what routes it's for, or what workers. Now you'll notice that 13 minutes plus 40 minutes does not make an hour, okay? And the reason for that is because we have lots of different time utilization besides just driving and servicing accounts. We might have breaks. We might have wait time in front of an account. We might have pre-route time, post-route time. All that information is in Insight. I just didn't have the time to put it all together and show it to you. Some of the other great KPIs we have, obviously we keep track of the quantity that's being delivered, over, short, and damage. So lots of metrics to track all aspects of your business. Now, instead of going through these one at a time, one of the really nice things you can do is you can actually do a dashboard. This is dashboarding effect, okay, where you can actually look at these KPIs in a dashboard form. Makes it really easy to see lots of things at once. I have the exact same arrow capability that if I want to see 6 at a time or 4 at a time, and then if I have more, I can just click my arrow and go to the next one. These KPIs are live in the dashboard, so if I, for instance, want to look at this by organization, I can do that right in the dashboard itself. And I really love this feature that if I want to look at percentage of the total, I could just change it to a pie chart, and switch it right there. So the dashboard itself has a lot of configurability capability. You don't have to actually go into every KPI to actually switch and drill and move. To actually drill in or bring a KPI up full screen, all you have to do is click on the name of the KPI, and it brings it up full screen. Capacity utilization is a great metric to keep track of. In this case, for my business, I know that 55, 60% capacity utilization is about the norm. That's how much I can get on my product and deliver efficiently. Right now, I'm about 46% overall, so I have some improvement to do there. But the question is, do you think every route that I deliver is operating at 46% efficiency? Probably not. Once again, I don't have time to go looking for every route every day to figure out the trouble spot. So I'm going to ask Insight to do that for me. I'm going to say find every route where the capacity utilization is less than 15%. And if I turn that on, it's going to help me find the routes that I need to focus on. I have a red bar. That means I at least have some. I can see which organization it belongs to. I got Northeast and Southeast. Okay. If I go into the Northeast, it'll tell me what routes that belongs to. And down at the bottom, you'll see the route that actually is down below 15%, and now I can focus on that route. Again, over and over, the idea is you need help as managers, VPs, looking at your data. Your time is precious. You need tools that direct you to where improvements can be made so that you don't have to go digging and finding this stuff. And that's what Insight is there for. Okay, one of the things I would like to do is show you this information. Insight has the ability to put a lot of data on the graph. I'm going to try to convince you right now that this graph that I have on the screen, which looks really busy, is actually really powerful and really valuable. If I drill into that, I can actually clear this off real quick to start to piece this together. So this is my capacity I just looked at. It shows me my routes, shows me the routes that are low capacity routes. Now, that's probably not too bad if I only did it once every now and then, and I wasn't racking up a lot of miles, like I just drove down the street. So one thing I might want to do is overlay the number of stops that that route is seeing. You'll see this low route doesn't see a lot of stops, so that's a good thing. I'm not running that type of route very much. But the ONP1 is a little different. More stops, that means I'm doing it more often, and I'm still having a low capacity utilization. Same sort of thing, well, maybe, that's okay, but I don't want to do that and drive a lot of miles. So I can overlay the number of miles that the route is running and realize that this OPN1 is not only at low capacity, I'm delivering not a lot of product, the truck is only 15% filled, but I'm actually driving a lot of miles too. So by overlaying multiple pieces of information on the graph at the same time, it helps you answer more questions at once rather than going to multiple pieces of paper and trying to cross-reference numbers. It looks busy, but the more you get used to it, the more powerful it is and the more it gives you information right on the spot. I do want to take a minute here to talk about the importance of plan versus actual. Now, if you only use the RoadNet system for planning purposes, you're really only getting half the picture. The easiest way to shave numbers off of your operation, to save dollars, to save miles, is to be able to track what's actually going on out in the field and loop that back into your planning. If you plan to go into an account and service account for 60 minutes and you actually are doing it for 90 minutes, you really need to know that. And that's what your actual data gives you. It gives you an ability to actually loop real data, real actual events back into your planning and make your plan better. So this is your cost, actual versus plan. Actually, this looks really good. My cost, my planned and my actual costs are really close. I'm only off by about, 1/3%. That looks really great. But does that mean that every route on every day is doing that well? Well, once again, I'm going to ask Insight to help me find out. I'm going to say, find any route where the variance is actually greater than 30%. So let's turn that on and see what we got. You'll see that I do get a green dot, or a red dot. That means I do have some routes that are things I need to look at. Let's first look at the region and figure out what regions it is. See, I got a dot at the Northeast region and also the Mid-Atlantic. So I'm going to go into the Mid-Atlantic region and look at my workers. You see my dot is up here for Philip Taylor. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the other region as well. So I'm going to come over here and check Northeast. And the reason is because I have a red dot, but my average is pretty low. My average is actually plan versus actual is below 1%. So if all I was doing was looking at my Northeast region roll-up numbers, I would think that looks good. But Insight's telling me no. I have something underneath there that I need to look at. So let's look at the workers here. Okay, and you'll see that Don Larson is red. Well, that's pretty reasonable because he has the largest variance overall. But I'm really curious about Joe over here on the corner, because once again, his overall variance is actually below plan. It looks like his costs are lower than planned, but Insight's telling me that I need to look at something. So I'm actually going to drill in and look at that route and look at individual routes. These are all the routes that Joe ran. And over here to the right is my variance. Here's my route. Look at this. Here's a route that he ran. Now, overall, he's doing really well. But this one route had a variance of 31%. So I want to find out why. If I click that View button there, I'm actually going to drill over to RoadNet Anywhere's dispatching program. I can look at this route now on a map and see exactly what Joe did. The green dotted line is the breadcrumb of his actual route, and the brown line is the original plan. So you can see that we originally planned a very short route, and he actually ran a very long route, and as a result, the cost for that route was much greater than what we planned. So this is a phenomenal tool to be able to look at high-level trends, see numbers up at the high level, drill into your problems, let Insight tell you where your problems are, drill in, and actually see the events that are driving the trends in your business. Great feature. The last thing I'd like to do is show you that Insight has a great feature to do performance summaries. Because we have all these metrics in the system, we're able to do large-scale performance summaries by worker, by route, by equipment, where you can put onto a graph or onto the screen all the data for a driver for a day. This is kind of a driver recap. Shows you harsh acceleration, harsh braking, harsh cornering, great metrics to use for driver coaching. How many miles they drove, how many missed service windows, how many stops for the day, what was their engine idling time, how much did they spend stop time per stop, what's the variance between stop time actual and plan, all by worker. And because all this information is in one single place, at the drop of a hat, I can actually change this and say, instead of looking at this by worker, I'd like to see it by route. And if I click that button, it's just going to redo the numbers and show me the exact same metrics by route. Or if I wanted to do it maybe by vehicle, this is a great metric, a great report for like a wear and tear report. All that harsh braking, harsh cornering, and idling is wear and tear on the vehicles. So what I want to do is change this to say, well, let's look at it by equipment. And now it's going to show me that information by equipment. Fast, easy, gives you the information you need rapidly, and gives you an ability to slice and dice it how you need to answer the questions in your business. So we've gone through an awful lot in a short amount of time. I want to assure you that we have just scratched the surface of what Insight is. Again, it's a discovery and exploration tool to understand, build awareness, and visibility into your business for you. And its job is to help you find those areas of the business that you can get money out of, that you can drop the bottom line on, and where you can actually save dollars. If you're interested in more, we'd be glad to show you more.